movements to look like in order to be successful in boxing. Now, ordinarily, if you're a righty, in boxing you want to have your right side or your right leg back with your right hand back, like this, okay? If you're a lefty or southpaw, you're going to go left leg back like this, okay? The difference between an orthodox stance and a southpaw stance is just the change in the back foot, okay? So if I was right leg back, okay, I'm going to kind of teach you guys the difference between front and back side. So the front is our speed hand, and our back hand is our power hand, right? So most of the time when boxers compete, right, they keep their dominant leg back, unlike, let's say, something like karate where they keep their dominant leg forward in order to be a little quicker and faster to the punch. In boxing, it's all about the setup. So you want to make sure that your dominant hand is behind you, so when you set up for that knockout punch, it's there for you. So the same thing happens on the left side, right? If you're a righty, your right leg goes back, and then when you're a lefty, your left leg goes back. Now in your stance, okay, there's a bunch of little details that we have to discuss. First one is, obviously, the legs have to be far apart, okay? Or not too far apart, but enough where there's a gap between your feet. The other thing is your heel and your toe need to be in line, making sure that you have a nice base, okay? Next thing is your shoulders are up, your chin is down, and your hands, and your arms, your elbows are connected to your ribs, and then your hands are connected to your face, okay? Some people like to connect it to their temples. I like to keep it down here because I can see a lot more over my hands, and if I needed to bring my guard up a little faster, I could, okay? It doesn't require a lot of movement. Now, in this stance, okay, this is a stance, or a defensive stance, where you would normally either defend or attack from. So you have to kind of think of it that way, where you're not going to be in the stance all the time. You're not going to be, nice and tight all the time and throwing your punches. Sometimes when you're out of danger, let's say you're not in range of somebody's punch, you might need to relax, so you don't have to always squeeze your guard in. You can just relax, and then when you're ready to go and you close the distance in order to attack or defend, you need to shell up. So I always refer to this as like a turtle shell, right? So if you watch my stance again, so let's review what we just talked about. So I'm a righty, my right leg is going to be back. I'm going to put my leg back, make sure there's a gap between my feet. Okay, my hands are going to be up, my shoulders are up, my chin is down, and then my hands are going to be connected to my face. The reason why I have my hands connected to my face is if I had my guard free floating like this in the air, let's say somebody punched me really hard and I tried to block it, I might not be strong enough to resist that momentum. So I might actually end up hitting myself. So I don't want to necessarily keep my hands out here and free floated. I want them connected, everything connected to my face, because it creates a frame on my body, okay? So again, right leg back, shoulders up, chin down, elbows into my ribs, squeezing, and then my hands are up by my cheekbones, okay? And then I'm almost like squeezing my arms together to create that turtle shell on my back, okay? I want to be nice and tight. So that is the stance that you want, okay? So let's review that on the other side. So this would be southpaw, okay? Left leg back, okay? Same thing happens. My stance is wide, okay? My heel and my toe are roughly in line, okay? My elbows come to my ribs, my shoulders come up, my chin comes down, my hands are connected, okay? So this is an orthodox stance. Well, this would be orthodox. This is southpaw. When I'm talking about orthodox boxing, there's several different types of defenses that you could actually employ during sparring or training. This was an orthodox stance, so the right leg back, squared up hips, everything up, that's orthodox. We're actually going to cover one more, and it's called the Philly shell. The Philly shell is slightly different. It takes a little bit more effort and skill in order to employ, but I'll tell you the difference between them, okay? So unlike our orthodox boxing stance, okay, the Philly shell, you actually make yourself a little smaller, a smaller target, okay? So instead of having your hips squared up where you can rotate onto your punches, this is actually almost like a karate stance, right? But your dominant leg is still back. Unlike karate, right? In karate, your dominant leg would be forward, in this Philly shell style for boxing, your back leg is still back because you still want to develop power from the back, but this time you're making yourself a smaller target, and what happens is you're actually going to drop your front hand instead of holding it up, and you're going to bring your shoulder up, okay? So what this does is actually your hand is guarding your body now, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about body shots. And then you don't have to worry about guarding your face because your shoulder is covering your face, okay? So anytime you see somebody punch, you bring up that shoulder and you can make them kind of skim off your shoulder or miss by deflecting that shot, okay? So the Philly shell, the right hand on this side is going to be up like a regular boxing stance. Left hand's going to be down like this with your shoulder up. And you're going to be basically very narrow because you don't want to be squared up. The whole point of this is to make yourself a small target. You don't want them to see this whole body. That makes you a little bit more vulnerable. So you keep your hand down in front, keep your body sideways, and you're able to kind of switch if you need to other punches. Okay? So that's just like a little bit of more variety in terms of defense. Most of the time, I would say start off with your orthodox stance, right leg back, left leg back, learn the basics, and then once you learn the basics and really have a strong foundation, I'll play around with some of the more advanced defenses, see what you're more comfortable with. Now, after we have our stances, okay, we have to worry about footwork. How do we move? How do we maintain our footwork or our stance when we move, right? So a lot of people, when they start moving, right, they start crossing their feet and moving sideways and all this crazy stuff. So I don't know if you guys watch boxing, as a sport. Those guys are very kind of neutral. They keep their legs underneath their bodies, and they're never like really off balance unless they're forced to be off balance. So the way they do that is keeping in mind where their feet, the footwork is, right, or what their feet are doing while they're punching and moving. Okay, so let's review some of this. So again, our hands are going to be up, shoulders up, chin down. Okay, I'm going to be nice and tight with my guard. Pretend like I'm about to punch something or somebody's about to punch me. Okay, when I move, I don't want to cross my feet because when I cross my feet, I'm in a narrow stance. Okay, so like if I go feet together, somebody goes to push me, I'm going to end up falling. Okay, same thing as if I have a really narrow stance like this. Like my foot is hiding my other foot behind me, and someone, let's say, punches me, and I go to block, it's going to end up pushing me. Okay, so I have to maintain a nice wide stance, okay, in order to keep my footwork. All right, and when I move forward or back or left or right, that foot is going to lead. So watch this. So when I move forward, my front foot is going to go forward. Then my back foot drags. Notice how I maintain my stance. I didn't go feet together or close up my stance. I just made sure that I readjusted my guard. Now if I want to go back, my back foot's going to go forward first, or go back first. Boom, then my front foot drags. If I go left, my left side goes first. If I go right, my right side. Okay, so let's go again. Go forward, back, left, right, forward, back, left, right. Now at home, you can practice this in the mirror, okay? Mirror is like your best friend when it comes to fixing your form because you can tell right away. So if you notice in boxing, there's a lot of people that when they first start off, they're gonna end up overcommitting their weight onto one side or the other, right? So some people might be more defensive where they're back like this, okay? And then some people are more aggressive where they're leaning forward a lot, okay? Now the whole point is to be light on your feet, so you have to stay neutral in your stance. You can't be forward or back, you kind of have to be like right in that center, okay? So think about it that way, is every time you move your feet, you have to make sure that your footwork comes with you, right? So if you're practicing this in the mirror or with a partner or in a boxing school or whatever, just keep your stance nice and tight, and then make sure that your footwork and your hands and everything comes with you. There's never a time where you should be off balance, leaning forward, back, sideways. Everything should be nice and neutral. So one more time, let's just practice this a couple more times. Go forward, back, left, right, forward, back, left, right. Now, if you really want to test yourself, have somebody call out the directions for you. So instead of forward, back, left, right, you could go like forward, forward, back, left. You guys get the idea. In order to maintain your stances and create power from your guard, you have to maintain your footwork constantly. That's what makes boxing a little different than other sports. Huge emphasis on footwork and maintaining your stance. If you're righty, you could go right leg back, lefty, left leg back. There are moments in boxing where you're gonna be in the opposite stance. So if you're a righty, you might switch into a left stance, right? But those that footwork is momentary. You're not gonna go left leg back. You're not gonna fight left leg back unless you're forced to. Most of the time, you're gonna find a different way to get your right leg back or your dominant leg back in order to progress the fight, right? So you might be able to switch your feet in order to change directions or maybe disrupt somebody's rhythm. But at the end of the day, you're probably gonna wanna go right leg back again or left leg back, depending on what your dominant side is, because that's what you're comfortable with, and that's what you're gonna develop the most amount of power with.